So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good, and in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills, so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I felt like it was needed to do an episode, not promoting like certain artists and all that stuff, but just overall promoting the idea of listening to music every day. And I feel like it doesn't even need to take up the whole day. Like, you could just kind of, like, if you just have some free time and, maybe you might be working on something, playing a video game, whatever the case is. Listen to some music while you're doing it. I don't know how many times, because that was me all throughout my childhood. I would play me some music, play a video game. And it brought me to such a relaxing mood that I'll find myself even doing that today. You know, like if stuff just kind of gets too overwhelmed, because that's one thing with content creating is that like my mind be all over the place with it, like 24/7 content creating stuff. If I could just kind of bring that one particular memory back from my child, because it's something that you can you could do it as a child, and then you can also do it as an adult too, where it's like, whatever your hobby is, do that hobby, listen to music. And that's the thing where it's like you could be listening to some new songs, because so I had to say, I feel like this is going to be more of a motivational episode, just promoting the idea of listening to music every day, but also just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a story time to let you know of my, track record when it comes to musical genres and stuff. But no, I listen to all of it. I listen to rock music. I listen to heavy metal. I listen to rap. I listen to like EDM type music, whether it's dubstep, because I know that there's like two versions of trap, where it's like the rap version of trap, and then there's the EDM version of trap. I was listening to that for a little bit. There was like because I think the one it's this band called Sigur Rós or something like that, Sigur Rós. But anyways, if you guys actually go and watch, I believe it's the official trailer of that movie Slumdog Millionaire. But overall, though, the way that their name is pronounced, it's Sigurros. I think, that's how their name is spelled. But no, there's a song that they did where I've been listening to that song, I have to say, since high school, because I think that's when that movie Slumdog Millionaire came out. But I think hold on for a second. Let me just look up trailer. It might be this one from 20th Century Fox. It's either that or Rotten Tomatoes classic trailers, or it's one of those. I don't. It's either that or the Searchlight Pictures. It's one of those. But when did that movie come out? I think that movie came out in like 2014 to 2008. Dang, that movie is super old. I did not realize it was that old. That's a 17-year-old movie. Dang. That's crazy. I didn't think of it. 16. It's either 16 or 7. I have to do that math in my head, or like on a calculator or something. But anyways, good movie though. Like, no, that's one of those movies where I feel like people, they will hear me talk about that movie and they wouldn't expect me to know about it and stuff. But no, it's overall a good movie. It's one of those like, it's like it follows a character in multiple aspects of his life and stuff. So yeah, it's an adventurous movie. That's one thing about it. It explores a lot of different areas of the main character's life. But no, there was I can't remember if I heard it through them or if I heard it through somebody else. Dang, I can't remember how I discovered that band, Sigur Rós. But anyways, regardless, they're like a band from Iceland or something. I think their main genre, hold on for a second, Sigur Rós, I think that's how you say their name, I don't know, post rock. Okay, so I get, it's like a Icelandic post rock band formed in 1994. Dang, they've been making music that long. I guess so. I guess. But overall, though, yeah, but no, I actually think because there was, I just seen his name. There was all like guitar and vocals. It's this guy named John Z. I think that's how his name is pronounced. But anyways, there was that one, was it Brad Pitt? I think it was Brad Pitt where they was like, we build a zoo or something like that. Hold on, now I gotta look at, we build a zoo. I think it was Matt Damon. I was like, yeah, I couldn't remember who it was that was behind that movie and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I got my characters confused, okay, or my actors confused. My fault. My apologies. It's been a while since I seen that movie, and I only seen it one time. How am I supposed to remember a movie I seen one time and it was years ago? There's movies where I will say it's a good movie, but it's been years since I watched that movie. All right, but anyways, getting back to the music and stuff. But no, yeah, I remember I heard of their. I think it was a song called like Happy Pola or something like that. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. But anyways, no, probably that's my like favorite song of theirs. And then eventually as the years went on, I just kind of started discovering their other songs and stuff. Fun fact about them, I ended up making a friend on TikTok through their music. So no, it was crazy because I think it was, what song is this? Like Eki Muck or something like that. Eki Mook or I can't think of the name of it, or it's like, at least I'm probably not pronouncing it right. But anyways, but no, overall though, I think it was, I remember just hearing that song somewhere or just overall listening to their music and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that is a good song. And then, and I think I had commented underneath the TikTok video over it. And then it was like some, random woman. She responded to it. And then, yeah, ended up, me and her, became friends through them. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, that's just crazy how you get to become friends with somebody through some music. But no, that ain't even the first time that happened. So I remember back in high school, one of my friends, still friends with her till this day. It's crazy. It's like, we don't really be talking about music like that no more. But no, overall though, she goes and because now I remember what class did we have together? We had some class together, but we ended up hitting it off because we were always like cracking jokes and all that stuff. And so anyways, this is, during my getting into social media days, I'm adding anybody that I become friends with. I don't care if we only been friends for a day. I'm looking your name up and I'm adding you on social media and stuff. So anyways, looked her up, added her on social media. We got to talking about dubstep. Never heard of dubstep. Didn't know anything about dubstep, but she put me on dubstep. And there was the one guy, I think he was like, at that time frame, he was the Michael Jackson of dubstep music, but Skrillex. And this was like 2010, 2011-ish, like them years. I can't remember what year it was, but it was between one of them 2 years where, overall though, she put me on Skrillex. I'm trying to think, Excision. And because Excision, I think there was like there used to be these Excision mixes back like in that time frame. I think they he or they still do, and I don't know if like Excision is a band or if I think it's just one artist, but he puts together these mixes and stuff of just a bunch of different random dubstep music. And I think it was the 2011 mix that he did. And I was like, fam, I was listening to that mix every day. I'm like, and then Skrillex, that I was listening to his music every day. It got to the point where it was like I was listening to his music so much, Skrillex, where it was because I was seeing this trend at the time where people were flipping music, like, or reversing it. And so I remember I listened to one of his songs in reverse. I think it was the like With You Friends or With Your Friends or something like that. Listen to that in reverse, and I'm like, fam, the funny thing is he can re-release some of his songs in a reverse way, and it's like, fam, people are still gonna listen to it. Like that's how good his music is, where you can listen to it forward and backwards. I'm like, fam, I just don't know any songs where you can do that and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, Skrillex, he has some songs where you could do that, and so that was kind of trending. And then, man, it was like, it was just one of those things where I'm like, by getting back to like, discovering dubstep, I didn't realize how much of a fan I was going to be of dubstep. Got to the point where I was making my own like EDM music and stuff. So still to this day, I had to say that's like one of my favorite genres to explore, because you can make so many different EDM songs and stuff. Like I feel like there's areas of EDM music that hasn't even been discovered yet, because I'm like, that's an artist that I had to say I listened to some of his songs just recently. recently, but Marvin Gaye. And I was like, and it's crazy because, you know, you hear of his name so much, like, because I had to say that's one artist that I heard of so many different times, and just overall, yeah, knowing of his story and stuff, I'm like, man, that is a crazy. So for those that don't really know Marvin Gaye, so there was he was like an artist from like some years back where he got shot and killed by his own dad. And I'm like, man, you know, and it's crazy because I think it was like the dad was like he was attacking the mom or something like that. Marvin Gaye stepped in and pushed the dad off and stuff. And I think he did a little bit more, but you know, outside of pushing him off. Like, I think they did say he punched him or something like that. But yeah, the dad came back into the room, shot and killed him. And I'm like, man, that's some wild stuff. And I'm like, you know, and it makes you wonder, like, when an artist, like, when they die at such a young age, because I don't even think he was that old. I think he was like, what, 30, 40 something years old, I believe. Hold on for a second. He was either in his 30s or 40s, but yeah, he was 44 years old, and it trips me out how, like, somebody that's so young, but it's like you see that so often in music. You see it where so many different times where artists it's like they die at young ages and stuff, and I'm like, man, that's insane, where it's like you don't even get to, like, know what their career could have been and stuff. So yeah, man, it was crazy. But no, I was like listening to his music, but I'm like, no, that's what I was getting ready to say, is that I ain't never heard like no EDM Marvin Gaye song and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's probably after I done did this episode, probably somebody gonna work on it, find a song of his and make an EDM version out of it and stuff. So yeah, but it's like it's crazy to me how music, it can inspire you in so many different ways, but it can be helpful, it can be relaxing. Like, that's what I'm saying, excuse me, that no, people need to listen to music every single day for the rest of their lives. Overall, have it where it's it's just one of those things you gotta make sure you do it, you know, because I got to thinking about it and I was all like, man, you know, music is, at least for me, it's a big part of my life, you know, from making it into listening to it, you know, like, and then if there's like movies out there where if a scene is so fitting, because no, it was funny, there was the one song that Frank Ocean had did called Wise Man, and I guess that song was supposed to be used for the movie Django. And so that's one thing with me, is like, you know, I ain't gonna say I'm like no like book publisher, you know, I'm not no professional writer and stuff, like, but I could get some writing done here and there, you know, I got a little bit of a creative mindset and stuff. But no, overall though, that's why I was like, hearing that song was going to be, it was like on the soundtrack, but they couldn't figure out a place to have that song in the movie, so they never made it to the soundtrack. And I'm like, fam, so this is where my creativeness came in, because I'm like, you guys could have, so this is how, if it was left up to me, if they was all like, if Quentin Tarantino was all like, hey, you gotta come up with a scene that's fitting for this song, I'm like, boom, got it. So this is when I realized like what that song was used for, so I immediately start thinking, I'm like, so if you guys have seen the movie Django, I might have spoiled it for some people, but yeah, spoiler alert. So at the end, when Jamie Foxx's friend, the German guy, when he got shot and killed, they could have very well ended it off where, like, just like how it ended with Jamie Foxx going back to that Candyland house, blowing it up, Samuel L. Jackson laid out screaming, all that stuff. But then it could have went, show where Jamie Foxx and Kerry Washington, where it's like, yeah, they both go off, but then it transitions into like a daytime, but then it's like kind of like showing a zoom in shot of a kind of just, you know, like a graveyard and stuff, or it could just be like just some like random forest area and things. But overall though, they could have had it where that song started playing, Jamie Foxx just finished burying, because they didn't even show, like, all they just did was show where Jamie Foxx, after he got, because it was like he got into a shootout with Leonardo DiCaprio, not Leonardo DiCaprio, but so the German guy shot Leonardo DiCaprio. I guess some people was like, oh, I haven't seen the movie, but I don't care if you spoil it, because the movie is over 10 years old, and so it's like 14. Dang, it's crazy to think that movie came out 14 years ago. But anyways, but yeah, so they just showed where after the German guy shot Leonardo DiCaprio, because Leonardo DiCaprio was a slave owner. I know people are like, whoa, wait a minute, time out. What are you like, all of that happened in the movie? Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio was a slave owner in there, but the German guy, he showed up to go get Jamie Foxx's wife, which was played by Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington. That was like, yeah, it was like once when they figured out what they were there for, because they made it seem like that they were just there to buy some slaves, but they were really there trying to get Jamie Foxx's wife. Once when they figured it out, Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he like raised the price or he did something, but they got pretty much called out on their plan. And the German guy didn't like Leonardo DiCaprio because there was like some previous scenes. I ain't gonna spoil it and stuff, but there are some previous scenes where, yeah, that German guy built up a hatred towards Leonardo DiCaprio's character. The German guy shot Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Then, overall, then he ended up getting shot and killed himself. I think it was like it wasn't his like right hand man, but it was like somebody that was cool with Leonardo DiCaprio and stuff. Got shot and killed by him. Then they show when Jamie Foxx got into a shootout with all of Leonardo DiCaprio's men. And then, but no, he eventually ran out of bullets, gave up. And then that was such a weird scene. That was a scene that they could have left out, or they could have did it differently. But they had Jamie Foxx hanged upside down by his ankles or something like that with no clothes on. So you seen his business. And I remember watching that movie for the first time and I'm like, why is this a scene? Like, there's some scenes that you can agree on, then there's some scenes that you shouldn't agree on. That's one of those scenes that you shouldn't have agreed on. And then it was just what was happening too during that scene. I'm like, yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, you guys could have did that differently and stuff. I'm like, you managed to fit that scene in there, but you couldn't have fit that Frank Ocean song Wise Man in there. But anyways, getting back to it. So yeah, Jamie Foxx, he does end up getting free. Because I think, he ended up like shooting and killing some like slave owner people and stuff, went back to go retrieve his stuff, but he came across that German guy. I think he said something and then like patted him on the head or something like that. But no, I'm like, they could have left that part in there and stuff. But then, like I was saying, so it gets to the end of the movie, or after that scene where he blows up Candyland. So they shows where Jamie Foxx, he just finished burying him, and then he just kind of stands over him, says a few words, but they're playing that song in the background, and then they could just kind of like show like flashbacks of like scenes throughout the movie where it's just him and that the German character, the guy, of him and like them just, overall hanging out and just, laughing, cracking jokes, shooting at, like racist white people in the movie and stuff. But yeah, they could have very well did that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that would have been fitting. And it's funny because I remember I did a TikTok video, and that TikTok video still to this day gets likes where people are, and then there were some people in the comment section saying that, that scene could have worked out versus how they ended it off and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm like, man, but that's one thing about it, say like music. I feel like with all songs with dubstep, with like some sad type music, like, cause no, and it's funny how like with movies, where they'll have that one song they'll play throughout the whole movie. Because there's this one movie that just recently came out called The Long Walk. They had a song playing all throughout that movie, and it's a good song. I think they made it just for that movie and stuff. But from that, I remember another Leonardo DiCaprio movie called The Great Gatsby, where they had a Lana Del Rey song playing throughout it. That was a good song. I'm trying to think of some other movies where they had that and stuff. But yeah, there's like, at times you'll see it with trailers, you'll see it with movies, you'll see it with TV shows. Where because I remember that was one TV show where I was like, they had a lot of different good songs, but it was like kind of like a musical show and stuff. But Empire, it was this Terrence Howard show. I'm pretty sure a lot of people might remember that show because it was the main character on there, Jussie Smollett. That was his real name. That's the thing. I don't know whether he staged it or if it really happened, but overall though, he allegedly was attacked outside of a hotel. And then, but I guess it was proven that it was all staged. And I'm like, man, you threw your whole career away onto some silly stuff. And it's like, and the show was good. It had good ratings. I'm like, and it's crazy because the show, it wasn't like that. It was going through a bad time or something. That's actually, I think, why the show ended up closing down, because of with the drama that he caused and COVID. So it's like they couldn't even properly end that show because it was like, okay, the main character is gone. We don't know how we can introduce him back, and we can't pull no my wife and kids stuff and just switch him with a completely different character. They should have. I'm like, nah. If my thing is this, if I didn't spend all this money on the TV show, you best believe it. I'm like, he can act weird if he wants to. We'll just get somebody else and just be like, yeah. He was Jussie Smollett was Jamal from season 1 through whatever last season that he was appeared on. And then there was this other guy. He played this. He can sing and do all these other different things just like Jussie Smollett. But I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna throw my show away or try to rewrite it because he want to act weird and stuff. But anyways, yeah, he had some good songs on there. And I'm like, but no, it was overall a TV show where it had a lot of different good music. But yeah, it's like, that's one thing about it though. And I know people will probably be all like, how can I discover new music? I'm like, fam, music is everywhere. I'm like, in TikTok, bro, I'm telling you, you'll go, I don't know how many times I went on TikTok, and I actually like that they have that feature both on TikTok and Instagram, where if there's a TikTok video that you see and it has some music playing in the background, they have an option where you can save it to your Spotify account, and they might have it set up for like Apple Music and stuff like that, but if not, they do have it where you can add it to your Spotify account. So yeah, I was like, man, you know, that's probably one of the best features they could have added to TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, music is everywhere. Like, I know people are like, how can I discover new music? Yeah, it's like you just go through TikTok, look up dubstep, look up like whatever genre that you want, and it's like, and it ain't like there's like a million different genres. It's like there's quite a few, but it's, yeah, you overall, whatever it is that you're looking for, or a mixture of something where it's like, oh, I want to listen to some like rock EDM music, that exists. Or I want to listen to rap EDM music, that exists. I want to just listen to strictly just EDM. It's like, yeah, you'll trust me. TikTok, mainly TikTok, because I feel like TikTok is more of a music app than Instagram, although Instagram does have like its music features and stuff. But overall though, yeah, TikTok will probably be the best place to discover some music. And then I know people are probably like, between the two services, which is better, Spotify or Apple Music? I use Spotify because they have it where you can you could customize the equalizer settings to your likings. Apple Music, I think they already have it where that stuff is like pre-selected and stuff. So yeah, I'm like, I like Spotify for that reason. They might have changed it with Apple Music, but if not, then yeah, it's one of those they should. And it's like, it's crazy to me where it's like Apple products. It was more so known as like a music thing and stuff. But yeah, now it's like it seems like that they're just strictly focused on iPhones and stuff. You know, I mean, yeah, they got like iPads, Apple Music, the VR headsets, and their laptops, but it just seems like now it's just like we gotta get our iPhones out and that's it, like nothing else. So but anyways, with that being said, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, music related questions, I'm like, feel free to comment them down below. I actually have a music channel where I need to do a lot more music related content on that channel, but it's this channel called Hit the Note by TMossBoss. So yeah, look up that channel. It was originally a news channel where I just kind of just talked on all things like hip hop related, but now I'm just gonna have it where I explore all genres of music. So yeah, stay tuned for some content on that channel. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Follow or subscribe viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.